Hello students and namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and our today's topic is from your standard 8th social science semester 2 textbook chapter number 8 India challenges and solutions. Now challenges means what, right? So challenges means the problems what India is facing and how can these problems be solved. So in this chapter we are going to study about some of the challenges which India is facing, and the whole chapter is divided into different challenges. That is, seven challenges are given in this chapter. One is overpopulation, then second one is illiteracy, then it is inflation, then it is poverty, then it is corruption, unemployment, and terrorism. So we'll do one thing, we'll divide this chapter into two parts. Okay, in the first part we'll study about the introduction, that what are the challenges India is facing, right? So first of all we'll study the introduction, then we will go through four main points, that is overpopulation, illiteracy, inflation, and poverty. And in part 2, that is in the second lecture of this chapter, we'll study the remaining 3 points of this chapter, that will be corruption, unemployment, and terrorism. Okay, so let us begin our chapter with the introduction of this chapter. Okay, in the modern times, the external means of development have changed, but the internal means of development have more or less remained the same. Okay, so honesty, moral values, awareness towards the rights and duties of the citizen, traffic awareness, sensitivity towards environment, scientific attitude, etc., have not developed as much the material development. Social evils like superstitions, illiteracy, and ignorance still prevail in our society. So, in the first paragraph, what is given? That is, in the present time, that is, in the modern times, the external means of development, that means there is a lot of development taking place around, okay, have changed, but the internal means of development, that is, the behavior of the people of the country, their attitude towards their country and its properties, right? So that is the internal behavior. So what is given? But the internal means of development have more or less remained the same. Okay, then it is said honesty, moral values, awareness towards the right and duties of the citizen, traffic awareness, sensitivity towards environment, scientific attitude, etc., have not developed as much as the material development. Material development means, as I said, that the country is progressing very rapidly, very fast. Infrastructure, then all the facilities, lifestyle, standard of living, everything is growing very fast, but we need to change our attitudes. Okay, so that along with the development of our country, we can also contribute in a uh, very well uh, way. That means we can become helpful to our nation and not the hindrance or the obstructions to our development. Okay, because many a times, I'll give you one example, we keep on praising other countries, like if we go to Singapore or other countries, America or any place, right, outside India, we see the cleanliness, we see the uh, type of atmosphere over there, and we keep on praising that how beautiful it is and how nice it is and what kind of atmosphere it is. But when we come to India, right, if we are in Singapore, then will not even spit or will not throw litter anywhere. But if that same person is in India, he'll not behave in a sensitive way, he'll keep on throwing litters here and there on the roads, right, he'll spit. It might be possible. So what happens, immediately when we come to India, our attitude changes. So that is what the first paragraph is trying to say, that if we want to develop our country well, then our attitude must change towards our nation and its properties. Okay, Social evils like superstitions means andhvishwas. Illiteracy, illiteracy means the person or the people who are not literate, who have not who are not knowing how to read and write. Okay, and ignorance still prevail in our society. So as there is illiteracy, the people, they don't have enough knowledge, and therefore they are ignorant about the different things in the society. Okay, institutions of the local self government, educational institutions, and the non government voluntary organizations, that is the NGOs, have played a vital role in ensuring the social and professional development of the nation. That means there are a lot of NGOs working for the betterment of the people, and as well as for the betterment of the nation. Okay, the society shows many positive changes, which is a very credible fact. So society ultimately means people, right? So if the people, they have positive attitude towards their nation, then the nation can develop very well. Okay. Further, still there are many more challenges to be faced: pollution, unemployment, poverty, illiteracy, terrorism, etc. are serious problems to ponder over. So, ponder means to think about, right? So, in the beginning, in the first and second paragraph, we just discussed some of the issues. So, here in this paragraph, it is said, except those issues, there are still many more issues over which we need to think about. Okay, it is necessary to think about them and find a solution to it. Okay, so just by thinking, never solutions can come. So we need to think about it, and we need to act upon it. Then and then the solution can be made out for such kind of problems. Next is the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means the whole earth is my family, need to be inculcated. Okay, so this is a very important thing which we all Indians know, but in real sense or in practical sense, we need to imply it in our life. Okay, so next is challenges faced by India. There is classification of challenges faced by India. Right, so the problems or the challenges are given: internal problems, then regional problems, border problems, and natural problems. So first of all, we'll go through the internal problems. Okay, so internal problems, that means the problems occurring in our country are overpopulation, illiteracy, inflation, poverty, unemployment, urbanization, communalism, corruption, and terrorism. So these are the major problems which we are going to discuss in our this chapter. Okay. Further, there are regional problems. So discrimination based on language, regionalism, right? That means people belonging to different regions or the states. There is border problems, that is international issues between two countries. Okay, then natural problems, problems like flood, famine, earthquake, tsunami, volcanic eruption, cyclone. So these are the natural problems. Okay. Now further, what is given? Let's talk about few of the listed challenges and think about its solution as well. So in the beginning itself, I said that in this chapter we are going to study about different issues or problems or challenges which are taking place in our country, and how can we fight against that, right? So we'll also study about the challenges as well as the measures to overcome that or to fight against it. Okay, so first challenge is overpopulation. Okay, Malav had to attend his maternal uncle's marriage. Now, there are two words, maternal and paternal. Maternal means what? Maternal uncle means, usually in Gujarati language, uncle means kaka. Okay, that means there are two different words. One is in English language, there is only one word, that is uncle for kaka as well as mama. But mama, that is from mother's side, he is known as maternal uncle, and kaka who is from the father's side is known as paternal, Paternal, paternal uncle. Okay, so here it is written Malav had to attend his maternal uncle's marriage. He came to the bus stand with his mother. It was very crowded. The bus arrived, but there was no place to sit. He could not board the bus. That means he could not sit on the bus, sit in the bus, as everybody was pushing one another. Thus, he could not reach his uncle's place in time. Why do you think this happened? Right, so the reason for this is already on your screen. Right, you can see the globe of the earth, and a lot of population is there. That means there is a population explosion taking place on the earth. That means population is increasing like anything, and that is one of the reason why Malav could not board the bus. Okay, further, in the previous chapter, we have studied about overpopulation and its effect. So, one of the chapter, that is chapter number 6, uh, you'll be studying about overpopulation and its effects. The root cause of almost all the problems is overpopulation, because as the population keeps on increasing, right, the things or the materials which the people they need does not uh, means there is a shortage of those things due to overpopulation. Then as and when the population keeps on increasing, we need more and more space, right? So therefore we keep on cutting trees, and there is a long list for that. So it is said that uh, to all the problems or most of the problems, overpopulation is its root cause. Okay, let's think about the ways to control population. Okay, how can the population be controlled? So increase in population means increase in demand for facilities and infrastructure. As I said, that as and when the population will increase, the demand for goods, demand for facilities, it will keep on increasing, and the infrastructure will also have to be developed. So population growth outgrows the growth of economy. So outgrows means due to population growth, what positive thing is there, that the country can grow. Outgrows means grow faster. That means the economy of the country can grow faster. Okay. In other words, the population growth is more and faster than the growth of the economy. Okay, population growth outgrows the growth of economy. That means uh, if the population of the country is growing rapidly like anything, then the economy of the country, then there will be a problem in the country. There is unemployment, there is poverty. So such kind of problems can be faced. Now what can be done for that, right? So here some data is given that according to the census of 2011, 2001, sorry. So census is actually the method of counting the population of the nation, and which occurs after every 10 years. Okay, so the total population in India was 102 crores, which in 2011, that is after 10 years, has gone up to 121 crores. It means there was an increase of 18.14 crores. Okay, so a very huge increase in the population. Overpopulation leads to certain man-made challenges such as pollution, congestion means for example, if you are having a car and the car has the capacity of only 4 person, but if 6 or 7 person are made to sit in the car, then it will become very very congested. Okay, so congestion in the residential areas, that means a small land or a small piece of land will be accumulated by many persons. That is congestion. Okay, shortage of water and food, medical services, education opportunities, unemployment, corruption, and terrorism. So these are all the problems or challenges which occurs due to population explosion. Okay, hence it has become necessary for the government to take certain steps to control the growth of population. I'll give you one more example. We all know that India is at the second number in terms of population, and China is at the first position in terms of population. So China had made a policy wherein a couple is supposed to give birth to only one child, and if the couple gives birth to the second child by mistake or any other reason, then that second child will be admitted in the army. That means compulsory that child is to be given to the army, and even the couple will be penalized, right? So there are very strict measures the China is taking to curb its population. Okay. Next point is illiteracy. Illiteracy is a major factor hindering the progress of a nation. So, hindering means obstructing, right? That means the progress of the nation can be disturbed, or it can become an obstacle. That means illiteracy can become an obstacle in the progress of the nation, and literacy is required to understand new ideas, discoveries, and knowledge. That means if the person or the population of the country is literate, that means they know, uh, they have learned things, they know how to read and write, then they'll be able to get education, and then they'll be able to get more and more knowledge, and the country can progress faster and rapidly. Okay. An educated person can effectively communicate and explain his ideas, opinions, views, and belief, right? So this is the advantage of being literate. But if a person is illiterate, that means he might be not having proper knowledge, then many a times he might be ignorant, and therefore chances are there that he may get cheated by other persons, and as well as he cannot contribute that much towards the nation or the society if he is illiterate. Okay. So when we attained independence, the illiteracy rate was quite low. Sorry, this literacy rate was quite low, but due to the efforts of the government, awareness towards education has increased, and the literacy rate has gone up in the country. Okay. Maharaja Sayaji Rao Gaikwad of Vadodara had made the primary education free and compulsory in the 19th century in order to increase the literacy rate in his state. So this is a very good thing which we can come to know. Okay. You all might have heard about MSU. There is MS University. So here it is the same person who had started that university. Okay. Next is measures to increase literacy. So we saw that what all problems can uh, occur, or what all problems the person has to face due to illiteracy. Now, how can we remove illiteracy and increase literacy? So we come across incidents when people get cheated because of their illiteracy. So as I said, that illiterate person doesn't have knowledge, and therefore they are ignorant, and they can be easily cheated. Okay. So illiteracy is a taboo on the culture of a society. Okay. So illiteracy is a taboo on the culture of a society, and measures have to be taken to eradicate it. That means illiteracy has to be banned, right? Measures should be taken to avoid or remove illiteracy. Okay. Free and compulsory primary education to the age group of 6 to 14 years, then scholarship, midday meal. Now what is midday meal? It is an initiative which is started by the government of India at the government aided schools. That means the government schools where the government gives grants. Right. So this step was taken in order to improve the health of the students, to see whether the students they don't remain malnutrition, And one of the major reason why they introduced midday meal was usually the government schools are found uh, in the villages, and also maximum students who study in the government schools, they are financially weak or poor. They don't have enough money, right? So usually these students, uh, they take admission in the school, but they don't attend the school because they are made to work, right, by their parents. And poverty is one of the major reason for that. So government came up with this idea so that they'll provide one time meal or food to the students, and due to which the students will get, means more number of students can get enrolled in the school, as well as they will be regular in the school, right? So this was major reason why they introduced midday meal. Then pre-primary education, girls education schemes, Vidyadeep scheme, residential schools for tribals. So as we know that tribal people are the people who live away from the cities and villages in the hilly or mountainous regions. So for them, it was very difficult to get educated. So government has made efforts. That means they have started residential schools. So those are such kind of schools where the students, they are allowed to stay also. That means the hostel facility is also there, as well as the school is there at the same place, so that the student can get proper conditions to study, okay, and they can get educated or literate. Adult education program. So usually this adult education program is started by government for the people between the age group of 15 to 35, right? So those people who have lost opportunity to get education can get education by adult education programs. And under these programs, they are provided a lot of education knowledge as well as practical knowledge. That means they are uh, developed with skills to work, so that they can uh, earn money for their family and their life, okay. Each one teach one scheme. So this is also a government scheme. And since 2009, right to education, that means RTE, have been introduced and implemented. So it is also again a very good step taken by government, under which 25% seats in the private schools also, because in maximum government schools we have seen are regional language schools. So the students, they could not get English education over there. So with this scheme, maximum in all those private schools there is 25% quota for the RTE students, and therefore the parents uh, who are poor can get uh, choices where they want to get their admission for their children. So uh, with the government's help, the parents can make their children literate, and even they can get a chance to come up in the society. Next is inflation. Okay, so we saw overpopulation, then we saw illiteracy, and now we'll see inflation. Okay, so, what is inflation? That is increase in price of essential commodities. Essential means necessary commodities, and all other necessities is known as inflation. That means we all are facing this thing. Uh, Prices of vegetables, they go high like anything. Then milk, then gas cylinders, right? So all these things are basic things which all the people need, and a very high price rise in such commodities gives rise to inflation. Okay, so a price rise in the commodities of daily use creates an adverse effect on human life. Inflation causes stress for common men, because already that common person is earnings, his earnings are very less, he's earning very less amount of money, and whatever he is earning he has to spend behind the necessities, and even after spending all the money he is not able to satisfy all the needs or necessities, right? So he comes under stress, and it becomes very difficult to maintain his family. So what is given? A price rise in the commodities of daily use creates an adverse effect on human life. Inflation causes stress for common men, as it becomes tough for the middle class people and people with limited income to manage their basic expenses. So that I've already explained you. The standard of living goes down, right? So as and when the prices of the commodities keep on going up, but at the same time the level of income is same. So this is the level of income, right? And the prices of the commodities goes rapidly very high, so there is imbalance, and which creates a lot of problem for the middle class and the poor people. Okay, it has become difficult. So I was going to explain you about the standard of living. That means if we are uh, eating basic commodities, if we are eating rice which cost rupees 45 rupees per kg, then we'll purchase rice which is 30 rupees per kg. So that means the person will degrade the quality just to get things in his budget, and therefore the standard of living decreases. It has become difficult to combat means fight inflation, and at times people have to compromise over certain commodities or facilities due to inflation. So I just gave you example of rice. In the same way, all the commodities and all the essentials uh, need means in all the essentials and commodities the person has to compromise with the quality, because everything has become very costly. So uh, to manage the budget the person has to purchase the things which are of less uh, means not of good quality. Okay, so person has to purchase things which are not of that good quality which he used to consume or use before. Okay, so that is the problem of inflation. Now what measures can be taken? Corruption, right? Corruption. Hoarding means what? Right, so hoarding is a process wherein the wholesalers or the commission agents, what do they do? I'll give you an example of onion, right? So they purchase onions from the farmers at the rate of 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 7 rupees, 8 rupees, 10 rupees per kg, and they sell it in the market at 25, 30, 40 rupees. Till then it is okay, but now what they do is they purchase all the onions from the farmers, and what do they do? These people, they have huge warehouses where they store these onions, tons and tons. Okay, and they do not provide these onions in the market. That means there is a shortage in the market. The supply of onions has stopped immediately. That means the demand will rise very fast, and as there is a scarcity of onions in the market, right, the price of the onions will shoot like anything. It will go very high, which we have already experienced. 100 rupees per kg or 120 or 150 rupees per kg onions will become. So this is known as hoarding, right? Unnecessary accumulation of the goods, and creating artificial scarcity, because of which the price will rise very high. Okay, then corruption, hoarding, and overpopulation are the factors responsible for inflation. So, what can we do as a citizen to stop it? So, the answer is given. The only solution to this is a planned and thrifty lifestyle. So, meaning of thrifty means what? Right. So, thrifty means using money and resources carefully and not wastefully. Okay, using money and resources carefully and not wastefully. So that is the measure how we can fight inflation. And the last topic for our today's lecture is poverty. Okay, Poverty is another major challenge faced by our country. A situation where a person is deprived. Deprived means that person doesn't get basic necessities like food, clothing, shelter, that means home or house, employment, and medical facilities is termed as poverty. The percentage of people in Gujarat living below poverty line is 14.7%, right? So the figures they might have changed a bit. Okay, the criteria of poverty are set on the basis of purchasing capacity and level of income. It means how can we say that a person is poor or rich or something like that. So it is basically upon their purchasing capacity and the level of income. Okay, due to the 5-year plans, education and medical facilities have become more accessible in India. So more accessible means uh, able to reach people. Okay, accessible means able to reach people. So what is said that is due to 5-year plans, education and medical facilities have reached people very easily. Moreover, the growth of industries has created lot of job opportunities, which consequently has reduced poverty. Okay, as well as more and more industries will develop, the people they'll get more and more job opportunities, and unemployment will reduce, as well as poverty will also reduce. The income of people has increased due to the integration of technology in agriculture and other professions. So due to integration of technology, that means introduction of technology, right? uh, More and more industries are developed, more and more agricultural activity is carried out, and due to that, even our exports has increased, okay, in the world market. So due to that, more and more number of people they get employed, and poverty can be reduced. Okay, so some important points. Abbreviation of BPL is given, that is below poverty line, right? Meaning is given, people living below poverty line facing the following situations. That means the people who live below the poverty line has to face the following situation are: they do not get proper nutritious food, live in unhygienic condition, are illiterate and deprived of medical facilities. That means they do not get medical facilities, their children have to indulge into labor, right? So these are the things which the people of means the people who are below poverty line, who are living their life below poverty line, have to face. Now, as I told earlier, we have discussed the four issues or the challenges, right? And the remaining three challenges, that is corruption, okay, then terrorism and unemployment, will discuss in the next part. So for today, I'll end my lecture over here, and I thank you everyone for watching my video.